Much of East Tennessee is well known for being paranormal, having cryptid sightings, all the things. And you know how I love to cover this subject. So tonight, ladies and gentlemen, I am bringing a local from the area, Rachel Speer, with us to explain to us a little bit about her experiences with Appalachia. Rachel, hey, how are you doing?
Hey, Daniel. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you for being here. So, before we get started with really diving in, tell our folks a little bit about you.
Well, I am new to East Tennessee. I've only lived here. June 21st will be my year. I'm originally from West Tennessee, where there's not a whole lot of sightings and paranormal stuff as there is here in East Tennessee. With that being said, I want to say that East Tennessee has seasoned me on a lot of different paranormal encounters, UFO sightings, and Bigfoot encounters. So, as I said, me being here just a year, we love it, but every day is like a new adventure. Every day is something new.
Right, right. I feel that. I really feel that. Um, you've mentioned like cryptid as well, which is very interesting because a lot of hey guys, I want to acknowledge our folks in the chat right now too. I've got Tom from the Eye of Jupiter with me, and I've got my moderator with me, Tiger Lily, right now. Thank you guys for joining us, and others will be coming in a little bit. You mentioned the cryptid thing. I got to tell you, like we were talking earlier, Maryville, downtown Maryville in the 1980s had a Bigfoot sighting in downtown, documented. So tell me a little bit about the cryptids there in the area where you're at.
Well, I haven't fully had. I haven't. Okay, so I have had one instance, which I'm guessing it had to be a Bigfoot.
Mm,
It was actually at Cades Cove. We
mm,
went. It was just a normal day. We were driving through the loop, taking pictures. It was in the middle of November. And of course, many people that know Cades Cove and know the Smoky Mountains, you always want to see the leaves change and you want to drive through the cove and get all those pretty calendar pictures. Well, that's what we did. And of
mm.
course, we were kid free that day. And I wanted to get out and look at some of the cabins. Well, we went to one of the cabins and I just kept getting this eerie feeling of being
Uh-huh.
watched. And I kept thinking, okay, I'm being watched. Let's go ahead and get out.
Yeah.
So once we did, we walked behind this cabin and it was somewhere I've never personally been. It wasn't like a cut trail. It was just a little space, of low cut grass behind the cabin. So me and my husband, we decided we're going to go exploring. And so we went out there and it led us to like a little creek bed. When I tell you, I kept having this feeling of being watched. I'm not lying.
Mhm.
We went out to this little creek, and all of a sudden it got so quiet. I'm talking about it was like you walked through a portal and all the noise, the birds, everything was just gone. And I looked back at my husband and I said, why did it just go really quiet? And he said, I don't know. We kind of stood there for a minute, like with our eyebrows raised, like, why is this doing? Why is it doing this? Well, I told him, I said, look, I know enough to get out when it gets quiet. If the woods goes quiet, in Appalachia, you need to get out. That's your sign. So
Mhm.
I told him, I said, I'm not walking behind you out of this woods. I said, I'm going to walk in front of you. You can be the caboose. I'm going in front, and whatever it is, it can just get you. I'm going back to the car. But as soon as we turned around and started walking off, that's when you started hearing the birds chirping. The wind, you could hear the leaves, and I thought either we walked through a portal or there was possibly a Bigfoot right there, or something in the cryptid was there watching us, because I had that feeling even inside the cabin prior to getting out of the cabin. And that was really, really weird to me. And I mean, that happens a lot, especially in that area. It was just a really weird instance. But I did, that was here in East Tennessee. That was at Cades Cove. But back home, I'm originally from Friendship, Tennessee, a
Mhm.
little bitty country town, population of like 400 people. And so back home, when me and my husband first got together, he was a big hunter. I'm not a hunter. And he wanted me to go hunting with him. And I said I would. But we went out to a place and it was called Green Hill Bottom. And it's a swampy bottom where people go and kill, they deer hunt, turkey hunt. Well, we went out and it was about 3 o'clock in the morning. So, of course, it was dark. We couldn't see anything. And while we're walking out to the deer stand, I keep having this feeling of something is like looking at me. And prior to us going out that morning, my husband had a trail camera and he had not seen any deer on the trail camera in several days, which we didn't think nothing of it. So we just went on out there, and as we're walking, we keep hearing branches breaking. And when I say branches, I'm not talking about twigs or little sticks. I'm talking about a branch the size of somebody's arm, like a big, decent sized branch. So we're walking out there, and I start hearing this, and I still got this feeling of, oh, something's looking at me. I just don't like it. So we kept on going. We get to the blind, and me and my husband, we start hearing bigger branches break. And I told him, I said, I don't like this. He said, oh, don't worry about it. I hunt these woods all the time. It's fine. It's probably an animal. And then we look out in front of us, probably about 6 foot. We see glowing red eyes. And I said, oh my God, there's eyes. Little old me, I'm freaking out. It's dark. It's in the woods. I don't like it. So we look out, and like I said, there's red glowing eyes looking at us. And we're still hearing these branches breaking. Okay, so in my mind, I'm like, okay, automatic Bigfoot, red eyes, the sounds, it's a Bigfoot. But you don't even have time to process it. So, and this thing is standing pretty tall, and at the time we couldn't see how tall because it was so dark, but it was like looking over something. And so I told my husband, I said, we're gone. We left. We went back home. The next day he comes back to the blind. There's still no deer on the trail camera. He said, I walked over to where we kind of figured where this thing was, and he said, I just want to tell you, he said, I didn't see any kind of like trails or nothing because it wasn't muddy. But he said, there's a lot of broken branches. He said, and from what I'm seeing, whatever thing this was, it had to be about 9 or 10 foot tall because the branch that it was looking over, I'm having to look up at.
Oh, jeez.
And I said, oh my God. So needless to say, that was a Bigfoot. People can't, I know what it was. I'm not going to
Yeah.
even question it. But the glowing eyes, that was automatic. And then the breaking of the branches. And needless to say, Daniel, I never went back out there. My husband never
Mhm.
went back out there and hunted. Nothing. It was a one and done.
Yeah, that's the thing with those areas like that. And people don't think about, like, we talk a lot about East Tennessee. People don't think about the western part of the
Yeah.
state that much when it comes to that kind of activity. But I mean, the LBL is part of the central
Yeah.
Tennessee area, and and then when you start moving west of the LBL, you're getting into newer landscape and so forth. Like it's flatter, it's
And swampy
very
bottoms, thick
swampy.
woods.
Yeah,
And I mean, if people, which now I don't know how much people really like document the Bigfoot sightings, but I mean, in that same area back in like the 1960s, there was the very first Bigfoot sighting right in that same area. He was actually crossing the road. So it's like, I know I'm not crazy. I can connect dots. I know what I've
right,
seen.
right.
But if you tell that story to somebody that don't believe or is very simple minded, they're going to look at you like, what?
Oh yeah,
What was you
yeah,
in the woods doing? Because it wasn't hunting, you're crazy. But
right.
no. But I always tell people, Daniel, because people always say, well, Bigfoot's not real. And I always tell them, I always hit them with this. I say, well, if he's not real, why is he protected in all these national parks? There's Bigfoot laws. People always say, well, why didn't they catch so and so on camera? Why didn't they shoot it? Because if you shoot a Bigfoot or kill one, you're going to go to prison for life. They're not going to document it online if so and so killed a Bigfoot. You're just going to go to jail or prison. If it didn't exist, why is it a protected species in these national parks? Why does something that doesn't exist have a law that protects it?
Right, right. That
You
I find
know?
that very interesting.
Yeah, you can't
Robin,
argue. You can't argue that. Like if it wasn't real, they wouldn't have laws protecting it in national parks.
right, right, exactly. Robin asked where Friendship, Tennessee is. I believe that's on the western end, right?
It is if you think when people think of West Tennessee, they think Memphis. So Friendship is about an hour and 45 minutes, like northwest of Memphis.
Hmm.
So it's between like Jackson and Dyersburg, Tennessee, and those are really small towns. When I start talking Friendship, and then now I'm in Knoxville, it's like what? It's one extreme to the next.
Right, right. There's like it's funny because when I was in Mississippi to do some work for another division last year, we I drove through. I want to say I may have driven through Friendship
You probably
at one
blinked and passed right
point
by it.
because I was trying to. I didn't want to be on the trace because it was late night,
Yeah.
and I don't go on the trace or other places, certain places late night. I stay on as close to the highways as I can get.
Yes. Yes. I don't blame you.
Yeah, yeah, not in this lifetime,
No.
not in the dark.
No.
Um,
No.
because I mean, the thing is like you got to understand the trace is really well known, and even if there wasn't wildlife dangers out there, you don't know what people might be out that way at night.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Ah, so we got, hey, Austin. We got Austin from the Dead Chronicles. We got Victor from Destination Spooky. We got Tom, I believe, is still in the room from Eye of Jupiter. We got like a lot of
Well,
folks
hello
that are new
everybody.
here.
Hey guys.
We got some good folks in here tonight. Um, oh wow, yeah. So Robin is very familiar with a lot of areas apparently.
Yeah.
So that's wow, yeah.
Small
So
world.
it, and it's funny because like a lot of people tend to gravitate to East Tennessee, Central Tennessee. Eventually, I don't know. Everybody has their own reasons. I know it floods a lot in the western part of the state,
Yes.
and
Yes.
I'm sure that helps a lot with people deciding to move out of there at some point or another.
Yes.
So I want to go back and talk about the feeling of being watched in the
Whew.
Smoky Mountains.
It was
The
definitely a feeling.
the grist mill, going toward when you're going toward the Cherokee side
Yes. Yes.
there. Always forget the name of that grist mill, but every single time I've gone there, when we walk back behind where the stream is there,
Yes. Yes.
I always feel like I'm being watched. I'm talking
Yes.
hardcore. And
It's
you
just
want
it I agree. I've done the same thing. I feel watched
oh
too.
my gosh. And
Yes.
I'll stare all through there looking to see what's because it's definitely coming from up the mountain there.
Yes.
Like there's a
Yes.
slope going up. And I look all over the place and I've yet to find anything. And with
Take
my
pictures.
eye.
Just start snapping pictures and get home. You're like, oh my God, that was behind me. No way.
Right, right. Well,
Seriously, that's what we do.
I did that when I was on the Appalachian Trail not too long ago with a friend of mine, over by Forney Creek.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
It got very quiet over there, and we were over by the spot where Trini Gibson's footprints were last seen.
Yes.
Um, the last evidence that Trini was on the trail at all. And we were looking around, and I happened to take a couple of pictures. And if you zoom in like Barb Hartman actually saw a couple of things in one
Oh,
of the pictures that I had taken, and she was like, "Oh yeah, I see that. That's them." And I'm
yeah.
like, "Wow,
See, people
wow,
don't believe that there's feral people living in these mountains. There's feral people. These old coal mines. People, if you was to ask a park ranger that worked in the Great Smoky Mountains, they would tell you, one, we're not going to talk about it, and two, don't go out there. You know, because they already know. Like things are out there, Bigfoots and skinwalkers. I mean, my husband, he's seen a skinwalker about a week after we moved in, and I said, well, they're breaking us in really, really good up here. And I
oh
mean, and
yeah,
that wasn't really that was on Foothills Parkway,
yeah,
so there's a lot up here. The Appalachia runs far, but between North Carolina and the Tennessee line, that's where everything goes. Everything is right over through there.
right, right." That's
And Cades
also
Cove is not far from North Carolina.
right, yeah. And Case Cove is also very well known. We were talking about before the show, the paranormal activity
Mm-hmm.
in Cades Cove. Brian Jeffrey from Black Mass Paranormal has picked up uh, something running from the front door to the pulpit at one of the churches
Yes.
there.
Yes.
Um, there's been several times when people have reported various paranormal activity
Yes.
inside those buildings. Uh, there's, of course, not just Cades Cove, but you got Elkmont too,
Yes.
which
Oh, the ghost town. Yes.
it gives creepy vibes big
Yes.
time.
I
Just
have not been there, but it is on my bucket list to go there. I want to go to Elkmont. That is on my bucket list to go this summer.
look, I was there one time in particular. I've been there a couple of times, but there was one time in particular I was walking through there, and the whole time I was just like, no,
Yep.
no, no. This is just beyond insane how active that area was.
Oh yeah. Oh
Um,
yeah. People say that all the time. All the time. I'm so intrigued. I want to go.
right. Have any of you guys in the audience in the chat, have you actually had any experiences in East Tennessee? Because if you have, you know, be be feel free to share them, because I know there's a lot of places there in the mountain areas that are so very just nuts.
Hot
I mean, that's
spots.
it's just nuts. That's the only way I can describe it.
Yeah.
It is like Disneyland of paranormal.
Yes. Like I told you, Daniel, before we went live, there at the Privnen Baptist Church. People, that was one of the very first buildings there in the early
Mhm.
1800s. John Oliver and his wife, they actually like built that church. And we went spring break, and I was of course taking pictures because I absolutely love that church. I actually have that picture of the painting. It was a lady from, her last name was Robinson. I don't remember her first name. Lisa Robinson. She had a art
Mhm.
gallery in Townsend. She painted a picture of the Primitive Baptist Church, and I actually bought it, and it's hanging in my bathroom. I love that church.
Wow.
And we went spring break, and I was, of course, taking pictures of my daughters on the pulpit, doing all the things. And got home that night, and there was an apparition of what looked to be a mustache man behind her in the window. And those that know that church, it's very common to see a woman in the wall, faces, orbs, shadow figures. Well, I said, well, this looks like a man. Obviously, it's got a mustache. So I looked up a picture of John Oliver, and bingo, that was him. Confirmation.
Yeah.
And I said, that is just, it was so, it wasn't freaky. It was just confirmation. Like everything you see online that you think is fake or false, it's not. Because I'm just an average, everyday mom, taking my kids to Cades Cove. And I took pictures, and then there it is.
Mm.
But it was so, so amazing. And then there is a cemetery, which there's 14 cemeteries there at Cades Cove. Only 7 have been found.
Right.
And the one of the cemeteries is it's going out almost over there by the grist mill. You turn and go left, and you go out that way. And Amanda Wilcox The
Mm.
Wilcox Cemetery. I love that. I love that cemetery. So I always stop by. Well, on this day in particular, I walk out there, and on Amanda's grave, which she was a 9-year-old little girl, she had passed away. She had a little black bear stuffed animal on her grave.
Oh.
So of course I'm down there taking pictures beside it, just being very respectful. Well, I get home that same night and I'm looking at the graves behind me. Do you know, Daniel, there was like four faces in these cemetery, like these gravestones. And of course, I tried to do the research to figure out who's buried here. Can I get a face? But it was the 1800s. They didn't have phones. You can't confirm it, but there was faces on these graves, and I mean, I've got the pictures. And it's
Wow.
like, that did kind of freak me out because I was like, this is, I didn't feel like I was being watched, but it's like there's a lot of babies buried out there, that died from like tuberculosis, smallpox, measles. I mean, a lot of babies in that cemetery. And I'm just like, okay, were they just kind of here, the spirits, were they just kind of watching over? Were they grandparents? Were they mom and dad? It was almost like it wasn't a scary thing, but it was like I can't believe that. Like,
Hmm.
I can't believe I saw that. And I caught that on my phone.
Right. Yeah. That's the thing was like, I kind of, when I take pictures, I've got pictures still in my phone and in my cloud too that I'm still going through to see if there's anything I've
Yeah.
caught
Yeah.
and not thought about or not noticed before. So yeah, anytime you're over there in the cove, I know a lot of people, we talked about this too. You see something every day on Facebook about, people going to the cove for the wildlife and all that.
Yeah.
But I mean, the real wildlife sometimes is the stuff you can't even see that's going on
Yeah.
around you there.
Yeah. Just go in the woods and take a picture of the empty, just not a bear. Just go take a picture between the wood line and you may get something better than a bear. And that's no lie.
Yeah, yeah, that's the thing is like everybody is so wrapped up in because it's a beautiful place, it really
Yeah.
is. There's
Yeah.
a lot to get you distracted there. But, you've got cryptid sightings, you've got feral people sightings, you've got the paranormal stuff going on there. Uh
UFOs.
UFO, Dennis
Missing
Martin.
411. I
Yeah,
mean, portals. Yeah. I mean, I mean, skinwalkers. Oh my gosh. Moon
yeah.
people. I mean, the little moon people.
Yeah, that's one of the moon-eyed folk. That's one of the things that's really well known
Yes.
over there in that area.
Yes.
And of course, you know, it, I don't like to talk about it a whole lot because it can stir up the wrong thing sometime. But even the little people, you
Yes.
know,
Yes. Yes. Hot topic up here. Yes. Yes.
is very common there. Of course, again, when you get to the upper Cumberland area, there's a lot of, there's the pygmy graves and all that stuff. So there's
Yes.
a lot through here with the little people.
Well, the
I've,
Cumberland Ridge also, you've got Brushy Mountain. And if
mhm,
anybody in the comments has ever heard of Brushy or James Earl Ray, y'all know that's a rough, evil, demonic, dark, heavy. I don't have any good words to say about that place. And that's
mhm,
Cumberland Ridge.
yeah, yeah,
It's just really dark over there. It's very dark, very, very feeling watch feelings 24/7 when you go there.
right. And that's one of the things that I think we when we talk about this area, and all the crazy stuff that, the high strangeness that goes on here. There's a lot of history here, a lot of history
Yes.
going back to the First Nation, uh, and the tribes that were here
Oh
during that
God, yeah.
time. And
A lot of
yeah,
Cherokee Indians were here in East Tennessee.
they were definitely, you know, Austin. That's one reason why I haven't been to Brushy yet because it is expensive
It
as
is, but it's
that.
so worth it. We went in January. It was so cold. But for my birthday is July the 1st, and I told my husband, I told my husband that I wanted to go for my birthday and I wanted to do the overnight tour. I want to do the overnight tour. It's like a 7 hour night tour that you can actually walk through and do, like the entire thing by yourself. But there, if you look into like the night tour, you will see it's a lot different because there's people that's been like possessed. I mean, there's been a lot of different things go on at nighttime at that prison.
Right, right. And that's one of the places that's a real hot spot for like the really well-known paranormal groups to go into. Wow, yeah, that is kind of spinny. That's like only $500 difference between that and the Warrens' house now. Thank you very much, Matt Rife. Um, I'm still a little annoyed about that because I really want to go to the Warrens' house, but not for
Yeah.
$2,000.
No.
Um,
Brushy's good. I mean, it is a little pricey, but it just depends how bad do you want to investigate it? How bad do you want to see something yourself? Because to me, $25, you can be there all day if you wanted to.
right.
And
Well,
it's really worth it. It's so worth it to me.
the 2,500 seemed like, I mean, for some, you got to understand, like, if you're a podcaster, you are a paranormal investigator, you are spending way more money than you will ever see
Oh
come
yeah.
out of anything a lot of times. So, and that's one of the things that I tell people all the time is this is not something that for the weak of heart, just because of like the financial risk of doing some of
Yeah.
the stuff that we do. But yeah, so and the Dead Chronicles is a streaming on a streaming platform. Well, on more than one streaming platform now, right, Austin? So he's doing his second season now. They're filming it for that show. So um, they have invested quite a bit of money in this project so far. Uh, yeah, there's just the one platform right now, and actually, I gotta tell you, just go and I'll put up a link on my page later on Facebook. Go and check out that because it's really good. Okay, so let's talk a minute because the Knoxville area, the city, the area around it. Um, we think about it. We think about Oak Ridge being really crazy because of all the stuff related to it.
Yes.
We think about the Harriman Hospital being being well known for being haunted there. Uh, and some people have gotten some great evidence there from time to time. Uh, you know, we think about the story of the Knoxville Zoo and the zoo uh, serial slayer there.
The zoo killer.
Yeah, yeah. Um, we think about those things, but what a lot of people don't know is that some of the craziness that goes on in the inner areas of Knoxville that's not really well known or not really talked about is kind of a walk on the wild side too. And it's not just seeing Bigfoot in downtown Maryville. So tell us a little bit about that. Tell us about the paranormal angle of Knoxville.
Well, like I said, I'm fairly new to Knoxville living, but just in this year that I've been here, I'm telling you, it's made me question my own sanity. Okay. We live in Farragut, Tennessee. Those of you that don't know Farragut, it's in the city. It's, kind of Turkey Creek area. It's a new build, very, very new. You would not think, oh, well, they live in a new neighborhood. Oh, they got paranormal. When I say my house is haunted, I don't just specifically mean my house. It's the land my house was built on is haunted. When we first moved here, I didn't really never I've never really had like a weird paranormal experience. Since living here, I've heard footsteps down my hallway. It's a two-story house.
Mm.
I've heard clicking of remotes, thinking it was my son. I have had dreams that has woke me up to like doors slamming. I have heard voices in my own house of like my name, thinking it's my child hollering for me. I have recently, I mean, lights. People that know spirits in the spirit world, when you're dealing with tarot cards, which is what I do tarot, witchcraft, all these things. You know, there's always good and bad. Well, you also know when there's spirits involved, they communicate through electricity. Do you know how many light bulbs that blow in my house every week? Do you know the receipts that I've
Wow.
got of lights that blow? Okay, not just that. It was to the point I was like my lights, like my Christmas tree lights would just flicker and just weird things. And I'm like, I'm 31 years old. I've never had to replace light bulbs like this. Dreams, my children, my 6-year old, she tells me, Mama, there's a spirit here. And I'm like, well, who is it? I don't know, Mama. I don't know her name, but it's a woman and she's in a black dress. A 6-year old. It went to the extreme that I actually found an old piece of mail from the girl that lived here before us. I actually found her on Facebook and messaged her. She said the same exact stuff started happening to her, and that's why she moved out.
Wow.
And I'm telling you, and it ain't just me that's heard things, seen things. My husband was not a believer of paranormal until he moved here, and now he has woke me up at 3 o'clock in the morning. He said, I think our son's up. And I'm like, mm-mm, just go back to bed. Just don't even entertain it. He'll go downstairs. After hearing him running down the hallway, he was in bed asleep. It came down to the point, Daniel, that I had an outdoor camera. Actually, it's right here, this little outdoor camera. I said, I'm going to put it up in my living room. Well, I did that. And there was orbs in my downstairs like living room. And it
Wow.
came down to it. I did my tarot cards and I said out loud, I said, whatever is here, make yourself known. I want you to make yourself known now. Make yourself known. Do you believe me? Because I got it on video because my camera was still up. At that moment, about 5 seconds later, my whole kitchen light bulb blew. My kitchen light bulb blew.
Wow.
I said, okay, all right. Confirmation, confirmation. But living here, I'm telling you, a year, and I've had a lot of things go on, and it's made me question: am I just like, am I homesick? Like, am I going crazy because I miss home? Am I just putting too much thought into something? Because as a human, we always want to think about the what ifs. But let me tell you, whenever I got that confirmation of the other girl that lived here that had the same exact stuff, and she would tell me that she could not go upstairs in the attic because she had dreams of a woman dressed in black.
Mhm.
I said, yep, I'm not crazy. I'm not crazy. I live in a haunted house. This land is haunted.
Right. There's a lot of that all through the area. It's like as you go to certain place,
Yes.
some of the so I work there in that area. We're working in that area right now. Not tonight, but usually like during the week we're working there right now.
Yeah.
Um some of the stores that I go into there get creepy at night. You
Well, not just here in Knoxville, but the Great Wolf Lodge. It's a new build with a big, nice water park in it. It's haunted. It's in Pigeon
mhm,
Forge. It's haunted. People
yeah,
complain all the time it's haunted.
yeah,
I mean,
yeah.
but East Tennessee, it don't get its name of paranormal for no reason. I mean, Appalachia. There's things here, things you can see, things you can't see. I mean, Farragut's not far from Oak Ridge, so there's
No, it's
times at
not.
night I go outside and I'll look up and I'll see things in the sky and I'm like, what the hell is that? And then I'm like, okay, let me get my phone out and record it, which I've done. And a lot of the things that I see are like they look like disco balls, but
Mhm.
they're not. And of course, you screenshot it and put it to Google, and they say, "Oh, it's a plasmoid. It's a star." No, it's not. No, it's not a star. It's over Oak Ridge area. It's not a star. There's not three stars lighting up like a disco ball in one area, just right here.
Right.
And people see them all over the world, you
They really
know?
do. That's the thing.
Yeah.
Is like, and so Farragut is pretty much where I live at whenever I'm in the area because I have a particular hotel I like there.
Yeah.
So I usually wind up at some point or another. At in any given time as anywhere around the west part of Knoxville from
Yes.
downtown all the way to that area.
Yes.
So you and I gotta tell you, like the creepiest, and I know like downtown Knoxville is well known for being, a little bit. There's a lot of homeless through there and so
Yes.
forth. So
Tent City. Tent City is what they call it.
yeah, and I've even had treat people try to get in my car at night at the red lights there.
Yeah,
So
I don't go downtown. I
yeah,
don't. Even football games one thing. I don't go downtown.
yeah. There's a couple of stores that we service down there, so I've had to go there before,
Yeah.
unfortunately. But like right on Broadway of all places. So you it,
Oh,
there's a human element that makes it kind of eerie, but just driving through there, you just get the feeling that there's something off.
yeah. People
Very,
complain that it's like zombie land downtown in Tent City. Yeah.
yeah, it's there's something very off about the energy of that area. And again, just like Nashville, Knoxville has a water feature, right? Like a river going right through it, it
Yep.
seems like. So,
Yep.
there's like water, always something about water.
Yeah.
Um, and so it's very interesting to see. I mean, we like I think about they have some wonderful stuff like cons and so forth throughout the year. A great place to just go and enjoy, but be prepared, especially if you're sensitive, because if you've not been there before and you are sensitive to this kind of stuff, you have to be
Yes.
prepared
Yes.
because it is not it's not like going to you know, I want to say like Huntsville, Alabama, but that's not
Yeah.
a good example either, because Huntsville has its own weirdness going on
Yeah.
there.
I'll
Um,
tell you, living here ain't nothing like living back home in Friendship, Tennessee. It's totally different. Totally. It's like
right.
two opposites.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
And we we think about the different things, all the things that we see online, the dogmen encounters, the Bigfoot
Yes.
encounters, the um, Jay's Haunted Appalachia. He has a lot of stories from all over the area, folk tales as well as some urban legends and some things that experiences people have sent in that are true stories, true
Yeah.
experiences they've had. So is there's that and then some. It's all the things. Some of the uh actually two, three of the most well-known UFO encounters happened, just north of all of this in Hopkinsville, Kentucky,
Yes.
the Fort Knox area of Kentucky. So, and then let's talk about Kentucky for just a minute here to add a little because it's just up the road a little ways.
Yeah.
It really
Yeah. It's still
is.
Appalachia. I mean, it's still.
Yeah, and it's just up the road a little ways, and that's the
Yep.
thing of it is like so you get into Daniel Boone Park area there and so forth. A lot of dogman activity there.
Yes. Yes.
Um, Scott Carpenter focused on the Smoky Mountain Park area, but there's other researchers that are focusing specifically on that park because of the amount of activity there's occurred there in that area, the
Yeah.
amount of sightings. So, any direction you go in here, head toward Georgia and Alabama, you're going to get the Brown Mountain Lights. You're going to get Wild Thing, or what is it? Is it Wild Thing?
Yep.
White Thing, White Thing. That's the thing there. Um,
West Virginia, you got Mothman.
Mothman. West Virginia got everything. They got the Flatwoods
Whew.
Monster. They got Mothman.
Yes.
They've
Yes.
got, it. There's 4 different museums that you can go to within just a day activity there that is just all dedicated to Mothman, the Flatwood Monster,
Yes.
Bigfoot, and I forget what the other one is now. Unfortunately, I had it, but I don't remember what it is right now. I posted about it just last week. Um, but yeah, you get a lot of this stuff
Yeah.
uh, in wide range areas. You get toward Chickamauga, you've got Old Green Eyes. There's actually a festival now, the Green Eyes Festival every year in Chickamauga.
Yep.
Um, of course, I haven't even started talking about Bell Witch Cave yet.
Oh yeah.
That's
I want to
so.
go there so bad. I want to visit. I've read books. I want to go so bad.
Yeah, yeah. And Brian Jeffries has done again with Black Mass Paranormal. I love his investigations. He's done some work with in that area too, looking around and some of the things that he's come across and some of the things he learned over time very interesting about that area. So
Yeah.
if you get a chance, check out Black Mass Paranormal to find out what he's discovered in those areas. So I want to, as while we're on this topic, you know, I kind of want to talk about what you feel maybe, especially for that area around where you're at. You're so close to Oak Ridge,
Yes.
so
15
very
minutes.
close. Yeah,
15
it's
minutes
literally like
in my backyard.
in
Yeah.
the backyard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Literally. Yeah. I've got
Um.
friends that, one of my girlfriends, her husband works there.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, and at Y12.
Yeah. Well, and we've had conversations, I won't say his name, but we've had conversations and he says I'm not crazy.
Right, right. Well, the Clinch River, let's
Yeah.
talk about that area for a second. Now, are they still talking about putting the reactor over there?
Yes. That is, yes. I'm on a group on Facebook and that was just talked about a week ago.
Because I know they were talking about it, and then somebody said that they had changed their mind, but I
No,
kind of felt like
locals
there
are
was a
still saying
rumor.
it's going to be, yes, locals are still agreeing. Yes.
Right. And so that area over there, and Katie Page from Beyond Skinwalker Ranch, she was been part of MUFON. She has the Rocky Mountain Research, I believe, is her YouTube channel. She has actually been over to Clinch River to uh, investigate an old story of an abduction that happened over there.
Yeah.
A fisherman that was abducted over there. So, do you
Ooh.
know much about that
I have not.
particular?
I have not heard anything about that. No, nothing.
So I've just started getting interested in this recently, and only because I pay attention to what Katie's got on her YouTube channel did I even know about this. But apparently, uh, some time ago, there was a fisherman was abducted over there around Clinch River, not too far from the Y12 area.
Yeah.
So, and I know one of the areas that they were walking through at one point was over there by where that facility is, where the coal facility
Yeah.
is. And I understand they're still going to keep the coal thing going
Yes.
too, which is kind of interesting. TVA is that a TVA area right there?
Yes. I'm pretty sure so.
Yeah, I kind of thought so because I know for years now it's been kind of, it feels like to me that facility has been there for as long as I can remember.
Yeah. Oh yeah, no doubt.
And so when you get into, I mean, just going into that whole area through there, um, it's kind of a weird feeling. Like it
Yeah.
when you so let me ask you this. I've asked several people this and they never ever remember seeing this church before. So right there at the entrance going to from 40 going into um Oak Ridge, when you get to the Y12 entrance, like the road that takes you there, if you look up on the hill, over the hill, like almost facing that area, is this old church that's lit up all the time. And I'm always asking people about that church, and they're like, I've never even noticed that church there. I'm
Yep.
like, how can you not? It's the creepiest thing I've ever seen in my life.
Somebody on this group had mentioned that, and which of course I've never been that close. I've never, because I've always been told it's a one way in, one way out. You'll be greeted with military, so I just avoid it. But it was on the group, and they said that military personnel sit in that church and monitor. Okay. They also say in Oak Ridge, say you go to eat, I don't know, say local McDonald's in Oak Ridge, they have people that are dressed like undercover that sit in these little places monitoring what the civilians around the area say about Oak Ridge. And I said, huh. I've heard that from people in this group, and the guy that's married to my friend, he has said it too. He said, "Yeah." He said, "Always be careful when you go out." He said, "In Oak Ridge," he said, "it don't matter if you go to a Goodwill, a McDonald's, anything." He said, "There's always a listening ear, somebody from the military sitting there listening." And I thought, that's crazy.
That is
Yeah,
that is seriously crazy. No
yeah.
wonder when I mention things in public about stuff like that, people give me a weird look.
They look at you like, "Don't say it. They're gonna ping us. They're gonna ping us."
Yeah, yeah.
Ah.
Um, I don't, I gotta tell you, honestly, I've been on a watch list for years. So
I think I am too at this point because between my TikTok and my Facebook and these groups, I'm just waiting. I'm gonna get a knock on my door one day. I already know.
oh yeah, yeah. I've had my bank accounts messed with and all kinds of stuff
Oh yeah.
before, just like all the time. From like I had my account froze at one point when I lived in Champaign, Illinois, actually at the time.
Ugh.
And it was, I think it was after 9/11. And I had an encounter there. Me and three friends were driving around. We were driving to a restaurant one night to get coffee after um, all of that happened, and there was there were one or two, possibly more vehicles, but there were only like I only saw four lights out of all of them
Yeah.
flying through the town of Champaign, fairly low to the ground,
Yeah.
with when the whole country was on no fly zone at that
Yep.
point.
Yep.
And it was, there was no sound, there was no nothing, and
Yes.
it was just very bright white lights on the four of them that I saw, but I felt like there was more than just that there for some reason. But
Well,
it was
just last week, we were at the pool. We have a pool here in our neighborhood, and we were
mhm.
at the pool. It was probably 4 o'clock in the afternoon, and I looked up in the sky, and I was like, "What the heck is that?" I don't know. I got videos of it. I got pictures of it. One was going one way, the other was going the other way. It was like a white looking cigar shaped something.
Mhm.
You know me, I'm looking on the flight detector. I'm like, nothing is showing. What the hell is it? I made videos. I sent to several of my other podcast friends. UAP, UFO. It's weird that it was flying one way and the other. There was no sound. At first, I thought, oh, it's a blimp. But I was like, why the heck would it be two of them going the opposite direction? You know, like I said, us as humans, we think every what if, what if. I'm telling you, I got it on video. I'll have to send it to you to get your opinion.
Yeah, I
It's some
do.
type of UFO, something. And it's weird because it was, of course, look in the direction of Oak Ridge. And the same week, well, the week before, they had in this group, people were taking pictures of these UFOs that Oak Ridge had said, you know, it was on this Oak Ridge page, and it was confirmed that it was radar indicated UFOs over Oak Ridge. One was shining a red laser down, the other one was shooting what they said was like plasma. And it happened about 45 minutes. And this woman lives very, very close to Oak Ridge, and she got it on video. And she put the video on there, but it kept getting took off. But I said that, you know, well, it's not a coincidence. I mean, this has been getting reported since like 1940s, you know. But people don't realize that. People don't realize that this is a legit thing. You know, it's almost like a new normal up here.
Do you remember the person who had that video?
I do know it was an older lady. It was an
Mhm.
older lady, and she. People said she was crazy, but she wasn't crazy. She's not crazy.
So I would like to see if you can get a
I
copy
will.
of that. I
I
would like
will.
to see that because,
I can reach out to that woman directly. Yes.
yeah, definitely. Because this is one of the things that's like, and you know, she can remain anonymous if she wants to.
Yeah.
That's fine. Um, I I'm very curious, especially about um, photos and videos or other
Yeah.
documentation of that particular area because I feel like a lot of the stuff over by where you're at is affected by what's going on over there. Like I
Yep.
can tell when they've been messing with the collider because the
Yep.
energy over that way
Yep.
is
Yep.
just weird. It's
Yep.
weird. Like I
You'll
get
get
all.
headaches. You'll be
Mhm,
dizzy. I'm
mhm.
telling you, you'll see strange lights in the sky. Like, oh, it's the northern lights. No, it's not. I'm telling you, Daniel, I've got it on video. Some nights I'll go outside or I'll look at my my balcony, and I'll look and I'm like, it's like 11 o'clock at night. Why the heck is it still daylight? Why? Got it on
Yeah.
video. I'm like, it's like midnight, and like it's so daylight. It looks like this outside sometimes.
Mhm.
Make it make sense.
Yeah, there's it. Look, making anything make sense over that way is not even
No,
possible
no,
because everything is so like I have to be careful driving over that way or whatever because like I'll take a wrong turn just
don't do
like
a wrong turn, Daniel. Don't take wrong turn.
all
Don't do
right,
a wrong turn.
not in the mountains. We don't do wrong turns. I
Ah,
know, right? But I'll take a wrong turn or whatever, not even realizing it. It's like it's almost like and I'll be heading in the right direction. Next thing I know, I'm not in the right direction anymore, and I'm thinking to myself, a second ago I was on the right road. Where am I
yeah,
now? What
yeah,
is this?
yeah,
You know, that happens over by Lebanon too, Lebanon, Tennessee. I've had that happen. So it's like it's just very interesting. Um, I've had things mind speak to me when I was at the stores, some of the stores.
yeah,
It would be like, boom. I'm like, wait a minute, what's going on here? Because
yeah,
I'm sitting here listening to music one minute, and the next minute, I'm clearly hearing something in my head.
yeah. It makes you question your sanity. These mountains will make you question your sanity.
Really
Yeah,
will.
yeah,
It very much will. You know, so you I guess one of the things that I really want to make obvious to people, you know, is if you because there's a lot of folks that like to go through Knoxville or need to go through Knoxville
yeah,
to to get to the park and so forth. And I think it's very important. But for those of you that have an interest in the paranormal and have interest in high strangeness in particular, you know, don't ignore this any of these places through there. They're very, very much even Fall Creek Falls. It's a
Yes,
beautiful
yes.
place, but one of the things that all the researchers will tell you is it's one of the best places in the world to see a cryptid if if you're got your eyes peeled and your ears open.
Yep.
So there's just a lot through all of eastern Tennessee, the Appalachian area, the Cumberland area, that for those that are interested in all the things, it's a great place to be able to hang out and
Yep.
not just run to the Smokies. I mean, please, by all means, go there, but because you can get a whole buffet full of paranormal in the Smokies.
Yeah.
We started out talking about that tonight, so by all means go there, but don't rule out. Do the research, do the history on some of the places that we're mentioning tonight. And because one of the things that I like about doing this podcast is, you know, I have my own research going on. I do investigation and research in a lot of things, on a lot of ways, but I also like having the podcast for a place for you guys to maybe find things that you haven't heard of or that you've heard a little bit about and encourage you to do more when it comes to investigation and research.
Yep.
There you are. Hey, Anna, how are you doing? Um, Another great researcher that I've had on the show before, Anna Kaywood Jones. Guys, absolutely amazing experiences. And I'm sure has some crazy stuff that if she's been on this part of it, look, some people just like you don't even have to like try hard for it to like come near you. Anna's one of those people that's a magnet.
Yes. Yes.
Even if just going on vacation, I have a feeling that there's probably been some experiences here in this area. Um, so let me ask you this: if somebody was to come to you and say, "Hey, um, where in all this is the best place for me to start?"
Cades Cove. You're not going to get the spooky scary as you would at Brushy Mountain. You're going to see stuff, you're going to hear stuff, you're going to see orbs, you're going to get that feeling of being watched. Is something going to, are you going to be scared? No, you're going to be at a awe of, oh my God, look at the history, look at the pretty view. But let me be respectful as to, because I know what's here. When you get home, you're going to take pictures and look at everything, and you're going to be like, wow. Wow. You're just going to be like, wow. I swear that's what you would be like. Cades Cove's a good beginner point. It's not scary. It's beautiful. It's a lot of history between Indians and the first settlers. It's a lot, but it's not a scary a lot. Yes, I'm not saying that once you get past Spence Field and you cross over North Carolina, it don't get spooky. But if you go to Cades Cove, you make that 11-mile loop, you will be amazed, not only at the views, but what you pick up on your camera. You'll be like, wow.
Absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely. And it's just it. There's something amazing about just seeing the the buildings and the history that's still
Yeah.
standing there as well. I
Yes.
mean, the
The old
wildlife.
mills and
Yeah.
it's a beautiful place, but I'll tell you, with beauty and light comes some darkness and negative.
Mhm.
Um, just be respectful. Just know going out there that you're not alone. That's the main thing. You're not alone. You're not ever going to be alone while you're out there. And long as you keep that in the back of your mind, you'll have a great experience.
Right, right. And there are some people, I don't know if it's legal to do. I have a feeling it's not, but there are some people who have actually like spread their loved ones' ashes out
Yes,
there too.
absolutely,
So,
absolutely.
so it just be there are actually one of the things I just found out recently is you can contact the park services to
Yeah,
find out how to legally um, go about spreading remains in the park.
yeah,
There's certain areas and certain ways to go about doing it that, and I think you have to get approval from the park to actually do
yes,
it and not get in
yes.
trouble.
Just like as
Um,
if you was to go and get married in the national park, same thing. You may have to pay a $50 fee, but it's I mean, if that's what you want to do, it's worth it to me.
right, right. So that's just a little known fact that those of you who may be interested in requesting that, if I don't know. All I can think about is even if I was cremated, if a snake come crawling over me, I think I would have the willies.
Oh no.
Yeah, I don't do the snake thing very well, and they have
Woo.
rattlesnakes out there,
Oh
so
yeah. Oh yeah.
yeah, I'm not a fan. Um, so I really love the fact that we've got a chance to kind of go over some of the many areas tonight and some of the many things that happen there because I really haven't been able to just find somebody there in Knoxville area
Yeah.
to bring on the show and talk about this. I mean, like people have heard me talk about different experiences and so forth there before, but because I've been going there for gosh, it'll be 7 years in
Yeah.
September. And I spent about anywhere from 4 to 6 months out of the year there.
Yeah.
Let's put it this way: I just became a platinum member with Choice Hotels, so that
Ah,
should tell you something. Um,
ah.
so it already, and that's a brand new tier
Yeah.
with their rewards program. I was diamond forever, and then the minute they had platinum, I made it.
You
So
booted up. Yeah. You just need to move
already,
here. You need to move back. You need to move. You need to move to Knoxville.
so my goal, because I can't afford Knoxville, but I'm looking to see about getting into Cookville.
Yeah.
And so not too far away, and it's right between Knoxville and um Nashville.
Yeah.
And those are the two areas that I'm at the most with my job. So it's a good fit as far as logistics for my job, and more affordable as well. So,
Yeah.
and to be honest with you, I don't. That's the largest size town I want to live in at this point.
Knoxville's big. It's huge.
It's getting a lot like Tennessee, like Nashville got.
Yes. Yeah,
Um,
just constantly building. I'll tell you, Daniel, once you get moved in, well, instead of a housewarming party, I'm gonna say, look, let's go on an investigation. Let's go to Cades Cove. Let's go and let's do that. Screw the housewarming
Absolutely,
party. Let's go on a haunting adventure.
absolutely, absolutely. Well, I definitely appreciate having you on tonight. We're gonna have to have you back again. I
I
feel like
appreciate it.
I feel like there are so many stories,
Yeah, yeah.
and it's hard to cover in one night for sure. Um, guys, just be aware. Like I said, just be aware of the area, the beauty, the fun attractions, but be aware of the mystery too.
Hmm.
And feel free to come here. The people here are great in this area. Like Knoxville has all the things. Farragut's got great restaurants, great hotels. It's just a really sweet place to go to. They've even got a really nice park. You can go walking
Don't
through in
forget
the
the
evening.
moonshine tastings too.
The moonshine tastings, you got to have at least one time there.
You can get a little
Um,
buzz and go out to Cades Cove, and no telling really what you'll see then.
right, right. And on your way to Cades Cove, drop in at the Knife Works in Sevierville
Yep.
because it's worth it. It's definitely worth it. If you go down in the basement, you'll get to the relic room, and that's a whole new area. Yeah. All right. I appreciate you guys. Thank you for joining us tonight. Thank you for your support and all the things. And may your journey always be magical.
I've waited for so long to see when you come back to me. Through the wars and battles that were lost, we're born again, it's you and me. The rest is history. Past lives. Past lives. Did we dance together on different floors in 1500 or 1504? We must have been lovers, we must have been something in our past.